everybody, and welcome to this week's OTR Classic. And I am super excited because you are going to hear from one of our On the Runs pod fam OGs, Mikala Shremshock. And we just finished recording with her and heard all about Western states, and it was awesome. In fact, I have her here right now with 6-star Erica. What's up, girls? How are you?
I'm doing great. Finally walking stairs again.
I feel that in my heart, but doing just fine post-race.
Before I get to the OTR Classic, though, I have a question for the two of you. This is for both of you. Are you ready? This is a big question. Are you familiar of the game Fuck, Marry, Kill?
Mm-hmm.
Mikala, you mentioned potatoes when we were just talking on the podcast. So, Mikala, fuck, marry, kill. Both of you. French fries, mashed potatoes, baked potato. Mikala, you go first.
Marry the French fries, fuck the mashed potatoes, kill the baked potato.
All right.
I'm confident in that.
I gotta go with marry the French fry, fuck the baked potato, kill the mashed potatoes. That was hard. Well, I was like, wait, which one's what's the bad one? Anyways, yep.
Well, that was fun, but we're going to get right to it because it is late. We just finished recording. So enjoy this OTR Classic with Mikala Shremshock because you are going to hear from her next week and all about Western states and Erica's race too. It was awesome. So guys, don't fear the code brown. Mikala, thank you so much for doing this. I don't think I actually, properly thanked you when we just end recording. So thank you so much, Mikala. And Erica, take everyone home. Take everyone to the classic.
Please enjoy this classic with Mikala Shremshock. She's amazing. We love her. And as usual, don't forget to stretch.
Our next guest on the runs is an ultra running badass from West Virginia. And I'm super excited to welcome one of my friends, Mikala Shremshock, something like that. I can't say it. It's harder than my last name, but Mikala, welcome to the On the Runs.
He immediately messed that up. It took no time whatsoever.
You didn't even try to get it correct.
No. Ready?
Great to be here, Eric, and Erica.
That's fair. I have the easiest name out of all of us, I think. Erica Hamill.
Yeah, she's not as cool as us.
10 letters. Easy syllables.
How are you? How's life in West Virginia? Is that where you are right now?
I am, yes. I'm in beautiful Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. Great little town. It's a little warm here. It's been pretty hot, and I don't do hot weather, but we're surviving.
Is that where you grew up?
I grew up in West Virginia, but the complete opposite side of the state.
Okay, so you stuck around, but you moved around.
Right, yes.
I've driven through the state a couple of times. I thought it was beautiful. It reminded me of like driving through Franconia Notch of New Hampshire.
Oh, that's nice. I have not been that way yet.
You have not been to West Virginia yet?
No.
Yes, but you've been to Franconia Notch.
Yes.
She doesn't even know New Hampshire.
I've been to Franconia.
I've been to Franconia Notch, but I've been to West Virginia.
So we're talking mountains and
well, next time you come to New Hampshire, because you come a couple times a year, let's explain how we know each other. We work together, but we don't work together. We only just work for the same company. And years ago, you were visiting the national office, and someone emailed me and said, it was your boss who emailed me and said, hey, you should go running with Mikala.
That was actually my first day of work. So I didn't even sign any paperwork or anything, and I went running with you.
Love it.
That's right. And then we went running again through Mines Falls. So I took her to Mines Falls, but we took like a group, and everyone loved her because she had this T-shirt on that said Pacer, official Pacer.
Ooh, fancy.
And everyone's like, what's the official Pacer? What are you doing? And so no one really knew how of a experienced runner you were at the time.
I forgot about that. That's just like one of my tank tops that's in rotations. That was actually from the Virginia half marathon that's right across the road from me here. It's a destination race, so definitely a good one for people to check out. But yeah, so I was a pacer and they gave you a free T-shirt. And I mean, is there a better reason to do something than a free T-shirt?
As long as they give you a free banana, too, at the end. Right?
And add the beer, maybe?
Yes.
Well, you got the wine instead of the beer and the banana. You had to provide your own.
That's fancy.
I would say free apparel, free alcohol and free food are the top 3 for the free list.
Yeah,
Right.
throw in a medal too. You'll have my attention.
I'm not into the medals. I usually throw mine out at the end of every year.
No way.
You know what?
I've been throwing away belt buckles.
What?
I know.
The
I am
coveted
such a
belt
sacrilegious
buckle.
person. Yeah.
Rachel, cover your ears. You're not going to want to hear this. Rachel runs for medals. Do not listen.
You know what you got to do is, I've mentioned it before. I don't know if you know who Ryan Van Duzer is, but he does this big 50-miler in Mexico every couple of years through the Copper Canyons of Mexico. And the day before the race, there's this huge kids race, and every kid gets a recycled medal.
Oh, okay.
And so people who don't, like you, who don't keep the medals, they donate them, and who knows where they go. But this one person collects, and she has hundreds of medals, and all these kids get someone might get the Signa Elliott 5K, and then their friend might have an Ironman medal.
Yeah.
They're all random medals. It's pretty cool.
That's
But
awesome.
Donate them to kids that have cancer too, but they only take marathon and Ironman ones. And those are usually the ones you do want to keep. So
I would say that's probably the only one I really have displayed in the house right now is the Ironman one. I gotta get a
Hard-earned.
metal hanger. That's what I gotta do. I gotta become like Erica here with the metal hanger, like Rachel.
I'll point you in the right direction. Ooh, I finally got to see her collection, by the way, in person. Rachel's. It's awesome.
All these years and finally got
Crazy.
to see it.
Yep.
am I allowed to ask a question on this podcast too?
You
Yes,
can do whatever you want.
Do you have a shoe room? What do you do with your old shoes? That's my thing that I don't like to get rid of is my old shoes.
Well, for me, I tend to throw them away. I don't really have sentimental attachment to mine, but I wear mine out. There's nothing left to them. So either they'll be outside shoes and then they'll go to a treadmill shoe and then they'll just go in the trash. But how about you?
The other way, mine start on the treadmill and then they turn into an outside shoe. That is so cool.
So mine will be a running shoe and then turn into a walking shoe after I retire on Strava. But then I toss it out. I have saved one pair of running shoes, and they're the ones I did the Ironman in. Probably never they'll be displayed, but maybe one day they'll be a Ironman.
You need a finished basement that's just your man cave. with
I
all that
really
You
do.
spent all your savings on the Normatec boots, didn't you?
No, I paid for those with my HSA account.
That's a brilliant hack.
This is a great story. It was the first Saturday of quarantine when everyone is forced to quarantine, and I was miserable. I couldn't go anywhere. It was the first Saturday in 6-7 months I hadn't refereed hockey or something. I was losing my mind, and I wanted to buy the boots. So I went to buy them, and for some reason, when you go to a website and it's apply for our WePay credit card or something, and it was denying me for some weird reason. I Googled and it's hey, you can buy these with an HSA card. So I had $8,000 in my HSA account. And I'm you know what? What's $1,500 of that $8,000? Boom. I hit submit. It worked. They said you might have to file something in taxes or it might come back at you later. 2 years later, nothing has happened. And I got some sweet Normatec boots. And no longer, because they sold to Hyperice, no longer does that qualify as an HSA purchase.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
I'm one of the last ones.
He cheats the system.
Hey, when you're here, you can borrow. Do you have a pair?
I do not. I never sit still long enough to use them, but I use them sometimes they'll have them at a booth at the end of races.
Yes.
And then we were just talking about them because those massage guns? Everybody got a massage gun, but we all paid different prices for them, right? Some people got the $30 one all the way up to the $400 one, and we want to have a competition and see if they're good or not. Well, the Normatec boots are the same way. There's $50 ones on Amazon. And I want all of us to bring them to the running store and try them all out and see is it really worth the extra money for this?
That would be a ton of fun. That would be a good blog or YouTube video or something,
Right. Let's compare.
We could do that as our first on the runs blog if we ever have a website or something is this worth it?
Right.
Yeah.
But he totally, when he bought his, he was you really should get a pair. And I'm I know, but they're so expensive. And he's just you need these. I sat on buying them for 3 months because he had his in March and I got mine in June. And I was these are such a good
Basically, I brought them over every time we went running and put her in and kind of just guilt tripped her into getting a pair.
But so worth it. 2 years later, I love them. They're perfect. I fell asleep in them yesterday.
Yeah.
Put them on. I just needed a nap, and I had the boots on, and I just kind of tilted over, and bam.
But we are here to talk to you.
Yes, not us. Not us.
I'll stop asking questions. Sorry.
You can
That's
ask
good.
as many as you want, but we want to ask you about ultra running because you are a pretty badass ultra runner. Erica is getting new into the ultra running game, and I am now an amateur ultra runner Sherpa.
That's the hardest job.
It was miserable that last year. Anchor down.
Mm-hmm.
It was miserable. When I wasn't running with you, it was the worst. The mosquitoes, the heat, the humidity, the ball soup.
Weather this year looks great though.
How did you get
Get
into?
a shirt and a medal for your Sherpas because apparently they whine a lot. Jeez.
That's so smart. All I did was get him food and snacks and Twizzlers and stuff. That was my thing. And I filled his gas tank. So.
Whoa, you really broke the bank on that one.
Well, that was last year.
Yeah,
It
it was
wasn't so
before
bad.
it got bad, but this year I promised the same thing. So.
How long is Anchor down?
So they have a 6, a 12, and a 24-hour race, and I am doing the 12.
Okay, all right. And what time of day does it start? Like a normal?
It's a
time?
7 p.m. to 7 a.m. race. So this changes it up a little bit, which is kind of nice.
There is a 24-hour race, but it goes 7 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. Okay. No, I think the evening starts are a lot better. I love running at night. One thing I will say, I've always been very anti-waist light. You know, the really bright lights that everybody puts on their waist. And whenever you have like an out back course, it just feels like you're running down the middle of a highway. It's so bright and so annoying. And I railed against them forever. And then I was pacing a girl at the C&O Canal 100. And after I got done pacing her for like 30 miles, my neck didn't hurt at all. And I realized it was because we were using her waist light. And like whenever I have a headlamp on, I'm trying to keep my head perfectly still the whole time. And so now I'm like a total waist light convert. I didn't get the huge like Kogala really bright ones. It's just like a 600 lumen one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a waist light is super helpful. You can look around and look at stars. Like you need a waist light for this.
I'm going to have to take notes because plus some of it is on a trail portion. There's like 0.9 miles and that gets real tough. Headlamps just are never my thing. They like cut off the circulation in my face too. Just pressing on your
I
forehead.
always have a buff on underneath or something. Like it can never work off the headlamp by itself.
Yep.
I usually keep the headlamp on just like if I need to check directions or look at something. But the waist light has been a total game changer. I just did Iron Stone that started at 2 p.m. at night and it was 100K, but it ended up taking people like 20 some hours to do.
Wow.
And that waist light got me through. It was a chance.
So you would say the waist light is a do for ultra running at nighttime because we want to know more about do's and don'ts of ultra running in addition to all the cool races that you've done.
Well, I mean, these are all things that I have learned from don't doing, right?
Yes.
I will say eating before a nighttime start race is a little bit more complicated, right? Because I'm an evening runner, so for me, it's fine. Like that's whenever I'm normally awake and I'm cheerful and I'm like, oh, okay, let's do this thing. If you see me at a 6 a.m. race, I'm just like, what? What's going on? Where am I? What am I doing here?
The face. I wish the people could have saw your face.
It goes great on a podcast, right?
Yeah. It's like Urkel without the eyeglasses. That's what it was. It was Steve Urkel without the glasses.
Yeah, exactly. So just be careful what you eat, obviously, the day of the race. But it's usually easier to eat a lot, right? Like you don't have to worry about a morning stomach and stuff. Do you know what the weather is going to be like yet?
Oh, I've been creeping on it for a while now, and it looks like it's going to finally be nice weather. So preface this by last year's race. It was, I think, like 95 degrees, even at like 7 o'clock at night. And the humidity was at least I think it was at least 90%, but it was soup. Like you said, ball soup. So this year, I think it's a high of 79 degrees. And it's going to get down into like the 60s. It's Bristol. Are you looking at Bristol, Rhode Island?
Colt State Park in Bristol, Rhode Island. Friday, a high of 79, a low of 59. So it might get into I might have to wear a hat.
Chef's kiss.
Well, I would recommend that you definitely take a change. I mean, I assume this is a short loop, right? So
it's 2.5 miles, just shy of 2.5. Yep.
Yeah. So I would at least leave one warm, comfy thing Like, you're probably not going to need it. The chances of you needing it are slim to none. But if you come through at like 3 o'clock in the morning and you're just like crabby and tired and whatever, that way you can put on like a nice fluffy hoodie or something and at least get through the next loop. That's always my thing. I've tried doing these like backyard ultras where you just have to be a machine and super consistent. And it's always like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm like, I just don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to run. And then, like by the next loop, a couple miles later, I'm fine. But
that's the exact mindset you just have to like snap out of. You give yourself like one lap to just commiserate with yourself and then snap out of it.
12 laps, whatever. I wouldn't put a number on that.
Last year, Erica did the race and she got second.
I was second female, which was
why weren't you first?
Because I gave up because I was grumpy and tired. Oh man.
Well, now there's the challenge and the pressure this year to win.
There's better trophies.
The girl who beat her jumped up to the 24-hour race.
Oh, okay. So you're a shoo-in then.
Perhaps. I do know some of my competition this year, and it is fierce. So I will try my best. I'll see what I can do.
With laxatives?
Oh God, I couldn't do this. This girl's too sweet. She's too nice. If it were anybody else, exactly. If it was anybody else, maybe I would be like, here, have a cookie with or have some sugar-free gummy bears. Yeah. I won't do sabotage. That I want to win for real. If I have a chance, I want to do it for real.
I was just joking, but that is really fun whenever you can be in the top spot and the people and you can have a good let's push each other to go as far as we can kind of thing.
It's gonna be a fun night.
So I'll be there. I'll be there and running. I'm gonna drive her there, drive her home, doing my duties, and she'll go, hey, I need my last year I screwed up. She goes, I need a sandwich. So I ran back to the tent and I got her sandwich. And when I went down, some woman saw me and she's seen me the entire night. And she goes, you just missed her.
I wasn't about to wait for it.
I'm like, no, she's going to kill me.
Race down the trail to go give her sandwich. Jeez. I
was at like the middle of the course. It's on like an island. Just picture an island and you run the perimeter. And so she's running back and I'm running, like trying to figure my way back to get to the camp and grab the sandwich and then run to the starting line. And I missed it.
And even at that point, I remember I couldn't eat the sandwich. I was like, ugh, I'm not hungry anymore. I knew I needed to eat food, but I couldn't do it. I took like 4 bites. And I was like, thanks.
Yeah. So when you do your ultras, do you have a support crew? Like, do you have a team or is there... No, never.
This year, whenever I did my big string of ultras, I did kind of cheat. I used music. I used headphones for a couple of the races.
Wait, is that against the rules?
No. I do no crew, no pacer, no music.
You are hardcore. I don't think I could do that yet. I need some practice.
Whenever I first started, I had crew for 2 of the races and I just get very I feel like I'm making them wait for me. I feel like I'm responsible for their happiness and everything. And I have always dropped if I had crew. So It's just easier for me if I don't. Some races, it's pretty easy, like a loop race, it's not a big deal to I usually have this plastic set of drawers that I take around with me and it has everything labeled. Something like Eastern States where it's 100 miles single loop course is a little bit more complicated because you have drop bags spread out all across the state of Pennsylvania. And you're like, I don't know when I'm going to get there. Do I need a headlamp at aid station 5 or aid station 10? It's a little bit more of a logistical challenge, but crews can sometimes have problems too. They get whiny, they get lost. There's no cell phone service where you need them to be. Things like they don't get you your sandwich in time, whatever.
That's Guilty. A different story. If they miss you, then you're screwed for a while.
And there's the time I couldn't find Scott Black because he changed his helmet on me in the Iron Man. Mm-hmm. And I was looking for a green helmet the whole time, and he happened to have a white helmet, just like everyone else.
Blends in.
It was that. So that one wasn't my fault. It was his. But yeah. So back to Mikala. No more me.
So tell us about some of your favorite ultras. It seems like you have quite the ultra running resume here. So give me some of your favorites.
So I started ultra running. Somebody's going to have to check ultra sign up in 2011, maybe. And I signed up for a 5K snowshoe race. That's how I sort of got into this. And the door prize was a t-shirt from the Highland Sky 40 miler in Canaan Valley, West Virginia. And I was like, oh, well, it's bad luck to wear a shirt if you haven't done the race. So I better hurry up and sign up for this ultra. And I mean, I had done a half marathon once. And then I didn't touch running shoes again after that for like 2 years.
So you went from a 5K, or did you say 5 mile snowshoe race?
It was a 5K snowshoe race.
So you went from that to a 40 miler?
Well, I told people that I was signed up and they're like, oh, we can't do an ultra until you've done a marathon. And I was like, really? I didn't know. Nobody told me that. So I hurried up and signed up for the Pittsburgh Marathon, which was like the month before this ultra. And then somebody saw my time and they're like, oh, are you trying to qualify for Boston? And I was like, what? And so anytime people ask me questions, I'm just like, oh, I don't know. Okay, I'll sign up and try to do that.
Damn, girl. So you're fast too.
So I did my first ultra Highland Sky, and actually I just went back and did it for the first time since then, this past summer, and it's still such an amazing race. Again, just a very low key, and 40 miles is like a very nice distance, right? Like you could start and finish in the same day. You can even drive yourself home. You can still like walk upstairs the next day. Once you start getting into 100 milers, you know, it's just like the whole weekend's gone, the whole week before it's gone, planning and traveling, the whole week after it's gone because you can't function. I haven't really done that many hundreds. I think I'm on 11 now.
That's an impressive number. That is very impressive.
That's not that many.
Are you kidding me?
No, she goes, I haven't done that many hundreds. And I'm like, yeah, 11, that's not that many.
But the one I did this year was Old Dominion. It's the oldest 100 miler on the East Coast. And a lot of people kind of poo-poo it. Like, it's not that serious of an ultra because a lot of it's run on road or, you know, like kind of rail trail or gravel road. But you get to the really hard technical climbing sections at mile 75.
Oof.
So most people are there at the dark, and you're not allowed to have a pacer, but you can have a safety runner just so you don't fall off the edge of the cliff and die. Like this one section. Of course, that happens like at mile 80 to 90. And I thought this was going to be a one and done kind of race. But afterwards, so they let you use the hotel next door. They let you go in and take a shower there so you can get cleaned up and stuff. And then in the morning, they serve breakfast to all the runners. And they start with the slowest person and they give everybody a chance to come up and speak into the microphone and just say, like, you know, whatever they want to. You know, most people thank their spouses or their family for coming, or, you know, some runner that helped them through a difficult time on the trail or something. It was really special. And I've never known of another ultra that has done that. So I think I might have to go back to that one.
That's
now.
Very cool.
Yeah. The breakfast was really good too.
So you got to speak in the mic?
What's that?
Did you get to speak in the mic? What'd you say?
Oh, yeah.
What'd you say?
Everybody did. Well, there was this one section that nobody liked. It was like an ATV trail, and it was super rocky and ruddy, but it was kind of the first section of trail that we got to, and I loved it. So I just commented how nice that was, and I thanked all the runners that, you know, were out there and stuff. So it was a beautiful night. The stars were out. It was super humid and moist. But you know, you kind of expect that in June in Virginia. Yeah,
that's awesome. I would be like, ouch. that would be. That is all.
So it's the first race for people that are doing the Grand Slam. So if you do like the 5 100s in 1 year, you have to start with Old Dominion. And so a lot of people were telling me about this, and I was like, that sounds totally hokey. Like, who wants to have a big powwow and kumbaya moment at the end of 100? But then I was there and I was like, oh, this is so touching and magical. I love it.
So I'm hearing you drop all of these new like terms and races, and I'm going to have to like listen to this over and over again to like, okay, she mentioned this. I should look this up.
Don't even do it because
falling
like,
into a wormhole.
Your bucket list will grow longer than you have time on this earth, right? It's kind of like my reading list for books. I add 5 races every day and I only run, you know, 1 a week or something. So
there's not enough time.
Yeah.
Recently, didn't you do 2 races in 2 weekends? Maybe they weren't 100 milers, but they were like over 50 for sure.
I did 3 races in 3 weekends. Get it right, Eric.
How rude.
So Old Dominion was the first of that. And then I did Laurel Highlands, which is a 70 miler across the Laurel Highlands hiking trail in Pennsylvania. And then it ended with Highland Sky, the 40 miler in West Virginia. And I wanted to do that series like a back to back to back forever. I signed up for them all in 2020, and then obviously they didn't happen for a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
Laurel Highlands is probably one of my favorite ultras. It's only 70 miles.
Only. I love it.
Yeah. But
Only.
it's one of my
Only
favorite-
1100s, only 70 miles. Only. Not a big deal.
No, you got the hard one out of the way. The 100 was done first. Check. Then it got easier and easier.
Exactly. Yeah. And none of them were super far away either. That's the other thing that I have trouble with is if it's, like in the wintertime, I tried to do this with some of my winter races, but that's a flight and, you have checked luggage and you just have so many logistics. And it's the travel and logistical stuff always stresses me out a lot more than just the racing. So
Only 1100s. Jeez. So what do you try to do 100 a year or two or what's kind of your
Well, I'm still trying to get into Western States. I don't know how many tickets I have right now. I think I have like 4 years, so that's 2 to the N minus 1. So that's 2.
Wait, how do you get into Western States? You got to qualify?
Yeah, you have to qualify, or you have to get a lottery ticket.
Oh, okay.
And so there are only so many qualifiers around the world. Almost all of them are 100 milers. Laurel Highlands is a 70 miler, and it's a qualifier as long as you finish in a certain amount of time. So usually I do Laurel Highlands just because I think it's one of the easiest, quote unquote, ultra that gets you a ticket for Western States. I try to do at least 1 or 2 hundreds. I wish I had a plan. You make it sound like I have a plan. Sure. Yeah. I try to do at least 1 or 2 100s a year just so I can keep my tickets for Western States. Although they changed that this year too. You don't need a yearly ticket anymore. And I try to run a couple marathons. Usually what I used to do before COVID, obviously, is I would do like marathons and longer 1 year, and then I would do marathons and shorter the next year. But kind of like we were just talking about, then somebody will mention a race and be like, oh, what about this? And what about that? And what about this? Oh, well, that's my whole plan. And I also don't know how to work a calendar. So if I have a race at like the last weekend of a month, whenever I flip it over, I don't remember that I have a race like the previous month on that weekend. So then I'll book myself for a race the very next weekend, thinking like, well, that one's in June, this one's in July. They're a month apart.
Honest mistake. It's an honest mistake.
It really is. Yeah. But I think next year my big goal is I'm going to try to do the Triple Crown. One of my friends has DNF'd at I can't think of the name of it. World's End. He's DNF World's End twice. So that's part of the Triple Crown in Pennsylvania. And we're going to do all 3. So it's Heiner, World's End, and Eastern States in one year. So we'll see how that goes.
I am very much impressed with this, with your whole running ultra accomplishments. That's ambitions, even the ambitions.
And I don't understand why, right? Like it's left foot, right foot, repeat. And eating, a lot of eating.
That's the hard part. Oh, I have a hard time getting myself to eat during these races. So once I perfect that, maybe I can go bigger. We'll see.
What do you use for nutrition?
So if I'm doing just like a marathon, I tend to just do, I like Scratch Labs Super Fuel. And it's just like a super concentrated drink mix because I do have trouble eating. Like I don't like the gummies because they get stuck in my teeth and it bothers me more than I get out of it. And so that's usually enough. And I'll do like Gatorade and water on the course. But yeah, like actual food is tough for me.
No, the Super Fuel is good stuff. That's what I use too. It's a pain in the butt to mix, but
worth it.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'll just have to, I was thinking for my ultra this weekend, getting like those little fun size like Snicker bars and like every lap be like throwing at my face. Like if you get it in my mouth, you win. So I don't know. Yeah, throw them and I'll try to catch them.
Wide.
If he doesn't get it in your mouth, then you just have to eat it with sticks and leaves and stuff on it. Extra nothing.
That's a little dirt. I can handle that. But I figure maybe like little bite size something, and then it should last me the lap, and then I'll maybe try to do a little bit better. But
well, this ultra has like an epic food
Yeah, the aid station is great.
Yeah, it has this epic aid station, and there's a guy there, we call him Juice Box Guy.
Juice Box Guy was the best. He just had Capri Suns, and I was like, oh, where did you come from? Like, he was right next to Soda Lady, and I kept visiting Soda Lady. But I was like, where did you come from? You're new. They must have swapped out. And so he had juice boxes that I kept like downing.
And the worst part, I'm going to continue the whining here of a Sherpa and support crew. I'm looking at this epic food table, and I can't take one thing from it. It's the worst
All you have
part.
to do is sign up for the race.
Yeah, one day.
But they have like midnight pizza party, and I was so not in the mood for food. I didn't even eat any of the pizza. I was very sad, like disappointed in myself. I love pizza.
Never eat aid station food. Usually I'm scared of it. Like fake food coloring doesn't always do well for me. And then sugar doesn't always do well. Sometimes I go too crazy on the fruit and the chocolates and stuff. Boiled potatoes with salt, always a good choice. Tater tots. I'm a big fan of
tater tots.
Ooh, I'd be all over that. Didn't they? I don't know if this is a real product or not, but I've seen it in I think it was Bad Ultra Running Advice Facebook group, but they make like the Go-Go Squeeze pouches of mashed potatoes. Is that like a real thing?
I don't like mashed potatoes. I mean, maybe once I turn into Eric and I've lost all my teeth, we can do the mashed potatoes. I mean, lots of my ultra runner friends, they'll even bring like those little instant cups of mashed potatoes, like for themselves.
I'm not a big fan of mashed potatoes either.
Well, I also don't like pickles. So it's a miracle that I am able to run.
You shut your mouth. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So my friend just had an ultra this past weekend. She did the Loopy Looper in New Jersey. And it's basically the same style as Anchor Down. I noticed that their aid station, you can buy like, a box of wine. It's a box of pickle juice, like a 5-gallon thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit, I can't believe that is an actual thing you can buy.
I just figured out what I'm getting Ashley for Christmas.
Sorry,
and Mother's Day and birthdays.
We're going to totally gross her out. All right, change the subject.
Her facial reactions are the best.
Change the subject. Let's go.
All right. Let's get back into ultra running. Let's move on. You mentioned winter ultra running, and I saw a picture of you like in the middle of January. It looked like you were on the Minnesota-Canadian border doing an ultra, and you were pulling a sled.
Yeah, so these are called winter ultras. I know, great naming convention. And they're more than just ultras that are done in the winter time. There are some of those, obviously, but these are a special breed. That one was probably Arrowhead, which takes place in International Falls, Minnesota. So you were dead on with the Minnesota-Canadian border. There's another one in Wisconsin in December, and then another one in Wyoming in March. So all of those are really fun. The nice part about it is you can take pretty much as much crap with you as you want. You just have to pull it behind you in a sled. So you don't have to mess with hydration packs or bladders. As long as you have a way to keep your phone warm and your water warm, then you're good to go. Calling them running events might be a little bit of a stretch. There's, as with all ultra running, there's a lot of walking. We just don't call it walking. We still call it ultra shuffling or something.
Power hiking.
Yeah. So I have had these races on my radar for probably even before I was a runner even. And then I met a guy at a local race here who had done Arrowhead. And I was like, oh, so mere mortals can do these. I thought it was just people that were like born and bred in cold climates.
Yeah.
And he's like, no. I don't even like cold weather that much. I was like, oh, cool. So I signed up the next year and I just really fell in love with the racing style. It's like 30, 35 miles between checkpoints. So, I mean, you're going basically a full day. They are on snowmobile trails, so you may or may not see another snowmobiler. It kind of depends on, like the one race starts on Monday specifically to avoid snowmobile traffic. And then, they have groomers that come through. So there was a point in the middle of the night on the first night at Arrowhead that I did not see another foot track, another shoe print. I did not see a snowmobiler, nothing for like 8 hours at least.
Oh, wow.
And you're like, there could have been a nuclear war and like nobody remembered to come get me or something.
Oh, no.
Did you think you were lost?
Well, I mean, I knew I was on a trail.
I would have thought I was lost.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's part of it too, right? I mean, there's a little bit of navigation to be involved in this. I rely way too much on my Garmin, but getting lost, like, what can you do if you're lost, right? Like, keep going or whatever. I mean, you can't stop in these. You do have a bivvy and like a -40 sleeping bag, but that nobody's going to come rescue you in the middle of the night, right? You're going to have to wait till morning. So you might as well just keep going and figure out where you are. But yeah, so then I did the one in Wyoming the following year. That was the COVID year, so they canceled a bunch of them. And that's whenever I really these people are so special. It really reminded me of the early years of ultra running where everybody knows everybody. Even if you don't, you just all go out to dinner together and you start swapping stories. You all take care of each other. Everybody gives everybody rides from the airport and stuff. It was just really fun. It's a really great community of crazies.
That's awesome.
When you're in an ultra race, do you talk to your competitors around you? Let's not call them competitors. Let's say they're your peers. Is it chatty? Because when I've done the Ironmans, it is not that chatty. But when Erica did hers, it was very chatty.
Oh my God, that's why we make fun of triathletes so much.
I was so upset no one would talk in my Ironman because the half Ironman I did, people were talking. The full I did, no one talked.
That's because they're all in the zone, man.
So I did 2 Ironmans way back in the day. That's how I ended up here. So I recovered from that affliction, luckily.
Well, I got it on the list, so get ready to talk about it.
That's why I really enjoy ultra running. That's also one of the reasons why I never felt like I needed a pacer or crew, because I just find somebody who's going the same pace as me and we chit chat through the night, and usually you find interesting people and you learn about new races. But yeah, that's pretty much all we do is talk. And then what's funny is you realize you've just bared your soul to this person. They've told you all about their relationship struggles, their rough childhood, whatever. You don't know their name. You have no idea what they look like other than the back end of their shorts and their calf sleeves. And then you see them in the face and you're like, oh, that's what you look like. Huh, interesting. It's not what I pictured. I will say, though, with road marathons, I get very frustrated because I'm a funny person, damn it. And I make a lot of random jokes about signs or people along the road. And everybody wears AirPods now when they're running, even in a race. And so I say something and nobody laughs. And I'm like, why didn't anybody laugh at that? That was funny. And then I realized nobody can hear me.
It's a waste of your talent. What the hell, people?
Yeah.
See, I do run with music, but I have the aftershock, so I can hear everything going on around me. So I like to hear.
You're just not laughing because you're trying to ignore me and make me go.
Oh, no, I would be the one who would laugh at you. I'd be the one trying to chime in on your jokes too, ride your coattails.
Thank you. Yeah.
Believe me, she laughs because I'm funny too, and she laughs all the time at me.
Yeah.
Good.
You said at. So.
Exactly.
Keyword. Good stuff.
That's why I can't eat gels or the gel blocks anymore, because I snorted them through my nose one time and I was laughing.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That is one hell of a booger.
I'll say that is the same.
Very flavored, at least.
I'll say that is the same reason I can't drink gin anymore either.
Oh, gross.
Ugh.
Oh, it was disgusting, and I still think it's gross. Anyways, all right, so while we're all laughing and having a good time, I know you got a couple really epic stories that are a little bit about what we're about. And I know one's recent, and one you told me about already at work, and I'm like, Erica, I've been holding this from you for months, and you have to hear it from her.
He's told me nothing, so I'm ready. I'm ready to hear what you got.
Well, let's start with the recent one, because I think that's more for Erica. No matter how bad things get, just keep going, and it never always keeps getting worse. So this was actually at Laurel Highlands, the race we were talking about in Pennsylvania, the second of the 3 in a row. And this is my big Western States qualifier of the year too. So you have to take a bus to get to the start. And you camp out the night before at the finish line. And then you get on this bus at 3:00 in the morning and they drive you down these twisty, turvy roads to the start. And my friend was also doing the race. So we met up at the start and we were just chit chatting. And he announced that the race was going to start in a minute or something. And I realized that I never put water in my hydration pack, in my bottles.
Oh, no.
I was like, oh, crap. So I had to hurry up and go fill it up with water. They had some water there. And I ran. We got to the start and it was pouring down the rain. It was just a crummy morning. And I start going and I take a sip of the water and it just tasted funky. It's almost like, you know, if you like leave curdled milk or something in a cup and it like sits overnight and then fill it up with water. Like it was really bland, but I was just like, this does not taste good at all. And it was 11 miles from the start to the first aid station. So I had no other water options other than this water that I had just filled up with. So I was like, crap, what am I going to do? So it's all climbing for the first like 8 miles. And everything was going really good. You know, I just run 100 the weekend before. So I was like, well, I'm just going to start slow, you know, walk this whole hilly part. I had my poles with me even. I'm just going to walk this, take it super chill and see how I feel. So I get about 6 miles in, you know, maybe a little over an hour. And I feel, you know, pretty good. Like my legs are tired, but they're not cramping or anything. I'm making decent time. And so then I'm like starting to go up this steeper part of this hill and there's tons of people all around me, right? Like we're all just walking, going up this hill. So you can't get off the trail or anything. And the gurgles start in my stomach.
Oh no.
And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So I start going some more and I'm like, oh no, I'm going to have to find a place. Let me just see if I can get rid of whatever this demon is that has gotten a hold of my insides. And but like we're still climbing and it's like it's like a narrow trail, and so there's a big steep cliff on the left side that goes up, and then there's a big steep cliff on the right side that goes down. So there's like nowhere to even get off the trail, and then also there's like a ton of people in front of me and a ton of people behind me. And you know, usually that's one of the great things about trail races is the world is your bathroom and you can just go anywhere you want to. But it was just super inconvenient. And so I even had to like start clenching and walking, you know, kind of doing the duck walk thing to squeeze my
so uncomfortable
tighter together. Yeah. Oh, no. I'm like, this is gonna get real awkward real quick. So then like, you know how these things go though, like it just passed, right? Like a couple minutes later, and then I'm just like, oh, that was just a false alarm. I'm fine. You know, whenever I get to the next porta potty or, you know, next good area, I'll stop. And then, of course, it came back like a few minutes later and we did the whole funny dance again. It's clenching and everything else. And I'm like trying to move in weird ways and massage my belly and move my shorts up and down so they're not squeezing on my intestines and stuff. And finally, it just got too much and the dam broke.
Oh, no.
And there was a little bit of leakage. And I was like, well, there's still a lot of people around, but at least there's enough room to get off the trail. And so I just quickly like kind of ducked into the bushes, but my ass was in full view of anyone on the trail. I mean, you know, in those moments, people know what's going on. It's not like they're like, oh, did something happen to your pants? Is the full moon up early? I don't, you know, they did at least like just politely be like, oh, my, ooh. And then there were sounds involved too. So they had the audible warnings that they should be far, far away from me.
Oh, no.
And so I have these really great, they're called sport wipes. They're like a silicone-based lubricant thing. And another runner friend told me about them. And they're fantastic for like cleaning all of that up, right? Because once you start getting chafage in your butt crack, on your butthole, that's bad. And again, this was like, you know, not even 10 miles into a 70-mile race that I had to finish. So I get all cleaned up and then like the exact same process happens probably, I don't know, 8 more times before the first aid station.
Oh my God.
I was just a mess. I could never get far away from people to just have a nice quiet moment in the woods. It was just really horrible. And I was like, there's no way. Like if there's somebody I know at this aid station, I'm just dropping out. I can't go on like this. And then I get to the aid station and I see the genius me had put a spare pair of shorts in her bag.
So
and
smart.
I was never so thankful for those shorts. And they even had a porta potty there, which is not always the case at an ultra. And I went into the porta potty and I was very close to the cutoff at this point, actually. And I said, how much time do I have to leave? And they're like, well, you just had to be in by a certain time. We're not real strict on when you leave. And so I probably spent a good 20 minutes in that porta potty, just like wiping myself down from head to toe, trying to dry everything up, clean everything, get everything out of my system. I dumped out all that water that I had, started over again. And I would say the day didn't like exactly turn around there. It was still kind of touch and go, but I had like stolen a roll of toilet paper from the porta potty. So at least I was more prepared and we kept everything flowing and clean and there were less people around me. And then I would say like maybe like by 8 hours in, I felt great. I was good to go. Of course, then I was like close to the time cutoff. You have to finish under 20 hours to get a Western States qualifier. And I was probably at like 21-hour pace or something. I was like, shit, I really gotta push this now. But yeah, I ended up finishing in 19 and a half hours, which was by far my slowest time. But I threw away those pants whenever those shorts, whenever I got done. They were
Oh, you didn't save them like you do your shoes?
What? I do not. No. The shoes actually made it. I was really surprised. Oftentimes I do end up getting stuff on my shoes, either pee or poop or something, especially whenever it's that bad of a disaster. But really, it was just the underwear and the shorts that had to go. Yeah, so that was okay. I'm a little bit lactose intolerant, so I don't know if there was something in the water. You know, I talked to some other people that had stomach issues, not as bad as me, but I don't know. That's the only thing we can come up with for what.
That is rough. That is not how you want to start a race at all, let alone a 70-mile race.
Right. But the good thing is like, you know, I just kept going. And eventually my body was like, oh, fine. You're really going to make us do this. Okay. We'll be quiet. We'll settle down.
Okay.
So this was very recent. And just before this happened, you agreed to come on the podcast. Because we saw each other at work. You came to the office. So when this was going on, were you thinking, oh, I got that episode coming up. This will be a good one.
No, I really wasn't. The whole time I was like, I really hope there's not a stream of poop down the back of my butt. I mean, even if there's nobody around, it's just still like, oh, that's gross.
Even if it's not there, you can still feel it and you think it's there.
Right, yes.
It's like when you blow a snot rocket and you can feel something on your cheek or your face, but you're like, there's nothing there. And no matter how often I wipe it, I feel like there's something there. That was great. That turned out better than I expected.
I give you mad props for that.
And then you came in and you finished under time. So wait, do you know if you qualified for Western States then?
I keep calling it qualified. I'm sorry. It's just a lottery. You get a ticket.
So when you run under 20 hours, you got a ticket.
You get a ticket.
And when will you know if that lottery ticket is a winner?
It's usually the first weekend of December.
Okay, so you don't know yet. Can you acquire multiple tickets in a year?
No.
So you got your ticket.
Yes.
So you're good. You don't have to do any more right now if you don't want to.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. It was really going to mess up if I didn't qualify for Western States. I didn't have any other Western States qualifiers on the calendar before November, which is when you have to put in for the lottery. And I would have had to like shift training and stuff. It would have just been tough.
So doesn't Courtney Dauwalter do Western States every year? Like, are some people just a lock all the time?
Oh, yeah. So if you've won it before, if you've done it 9 times and you're going for like your 10th, if you're a golden ticket winner, if you're like hella fast like Courtney Dauwalter, then yeah, you can win another race and get in with a gold ticket.
I'm just wondering, like, it's a pretty epic and a pretty well-known race. I'm wondering, like, the lottery field might be average ultra runners versus the best ultra runners.
Almost all average.
I love that.
But like everybody I know that's been in the Western States lottery got in on their very first try. Like they had never run 100 before. They put in 1 ticket and they got in. And then everybody from West Virginia that I know has like 128 tickets, which is like 7 years, and they still haven't won the lottery.
It just doesn't feel right.
How long have you been trying? How long have you been trying to get in?
I think this will be my 4th or 5th year. So
I'll send some good juju your way.
Well, that was part of the reason that I ran Old Dominion, because I felt like the ultra gods, now that I've run the oldest on the East Coast, they'll let me run the oldest on the West Coast.
It's only fair, right?
It's actually
like after each other and stuff. So,
so it's actually the oldest in the world. I Googled it. Western States 100 miler is the world's oldest 100-mile trail race. It has over 1,800 feet of climbing and over 23,000 feet of descending. Descending is hard.
Yeah.
Is that in the Lake Tahoe area? I'm not going to keep reading off my phone, but that's like in the Lake Tahoe. No? Okay, I'm totally off. I thought it was Lake Tahoe near my brother. I don't know why. It is California.
I can still have you come Sherpa for me whenever I do it.
Well, you don't like Sherpa, so I'll just go there and I'll do content.
Okay, you can do content of me pooping my pants. At least you have a river crossing there, so you can wash off in the river.
That's right. You can be like Neil.
Oh my God. You got to listen to our Pizza Gut episode if you haven't yet.
Yeah, I saw it on there.
It's wicked funny.
Speaking of before the next story, and speaking of showing up to a race, if I go, you know which one I would go to if you ever ran? I would go to the Barclays Marathon if you ever did it. You're kind of like, I don't want to do that one.
That one's ridiculous.
I don't like races where you have to jump through a lot of hoops to get into, right? Like Western States, just because it's a straight lottery, I can kind of handle it.
Okay.
But like other races where there's like lotteries and you got to like suck up to the race director or you got to like buy a pack of cigarettes. Like I'm just not into that, right? Like there's enough races in the world that are way better than your race that I'm just going to go do that one for $50 instead of your $4,000 thing that's too complicated for me to figure out.
Nobody knows how to get into
No
Barclays
one knows.
anyways. Well, not normal people. Normal people don't know.
And I'll admit, I'd never heard of the Barclays Marathon till this year.
Well, yeah.
And then everyone was into it, like especially you. Oh, yeah.
There's a thing about it on Netflix.
I watched it. She sent me all the video links. I watched them all.
I don't own a Netflix account. Like I don't even have one that I steal from other people. So I just know about Netflix from what people tell me is on there. Don't take it as gospel.
What do you watch on TV? Do you
She doesn't have time for that.
This is again why I don't have Normatec boots, right? You can't have Normatec boots.
How about number 2? This one I know of a little.
It's definitely number 2.
Yes.
This is the funniest personal ultra running story that I have. So I saved it for last. So one of my goals, and this is a good thing about goal setting. At work, we've been working on our SMART goals a lot. And obviously I was not very specific whenever I set this goal, but one of my goals was to break tape at a race, like to be the first person, but also it to be a big enough race that they like have a banner up and you get to run through it and stuff. And so that had always been kind of the dream of mine, because some races you just win and they just hand you a little trophy and you go away. But there's this local half marathon we do. There's a racetrack here called Summit Point. It's where like the CIA and stuff do their training courses, and they have some car races and motorcycle races and stuff. But in the spring, when they're getting the track ready, they also do a running race on the course. So it's kind of fun because there's lots of twists and turns, and it's not flat because you do have to go like up and over a bridge too. But you know, it's relatively simple and it's all a very nice paved course. So it's good to try to set a PR at. This year, this was like my second or third time running it. And I also knew that they gave out pretty good prize money. So if you were the first place woman, you got $300. And then second, you got $150. And then third, I think you got like $50 or $75. Again, not like enough to break the bank, but I was trying to save up for a treadmill at this time. And I had said that I would use all of the winnings from the year to buy the best treadmill I could get with that amount of money.
Nice.
So I really my training had been really good all spring and all winter. And it was a really great day. It was like freezing cold, maybe like 35 to 39 degrees, which, you know, for a hard effort, that's like ideal. I was feeling really good. It was around St. Patrick's Day. And so I usually make my own corned beef. Like, you know, I get the beef and I corn it for like 3 weeks ahead of time and stuff. And so I had some great protein, lots of cabbage the night before. I was ramped up and ready to go. So it's a 2-loop course. You do the first 6.5 miles. Everything felt great. And there was a girl from my local running club. She was like very close to me at every time because there's so many twists and turns. You can always see where people are. But I was like still feeling strong through the first loop, like felt really good. She was like maybe a turn back from me. So, you know, at least a good couple hundred yards. She seemed like she was fading a little bit. I didn't know if she was playing mind games with me or not, but I was like, it's fine. If she attacks, I've got enough in the tank to just push my way through this. So we're maybe halfway through the second loop, so 3 or 4 miles left to go. And the gurgles start again. And clenching was not doing anything. And there is a porta potty on the course. And I was like, if I stop for even a second, she's going to beat me, right? And like, if it had been maybe a normal race, I might have made a different calculation, but this was $300, right? Like 300 versus 150. I couldn't pass the opportunity. And the shorts I had on were great shorts. You know, they had the liner with lots of elastic. And then they just started to gradually fill up over time.
Oh, no.
And, you know, at first you're like, no, I think that's just a fart. Oh, no, I feel sloshing. Yep. Oh, my butt cheeks are wet too. Oh, this is bad. So I ran like that with these, like my butt just getting gradually bigger as my shorts balloon out with poop for 3 miles. I cross the finish line. I get to break tape. Note
Congratulations.
to self, correct your goals that you do not break tape with poop in your pants. And I immediately started crying. At that moment, of course, like the dam breaks and like all the poop is just flooding down the backs of my legs. And the woman, I mean, this is like a local race too, right? Like it's not like a huge thing. Like, not that I know all these people, but they know me. They're like, ugh. So I just kind of run away. I don't even think I grabbed my medal or anything. And they luckily had a bathroom with a shower in it. So I ran in there, but I didn't like bring clothes to change into because it was just a half marathon. I was just going right back home after this. So I'm in the shower trying to like rinse out all of my clothes, trying to get poop out of them so that I can put them back on and then go collect my check that I literally just embarrassed myself over. So yeah, and it was pretty much all the cabbage from the night before. So note to self, do not eat cabbage the night before.
I will keep that in mind.
Yeah, I got some very weird looks from a lot of people that day. Was it worth it? I don't know. I don't know if my pride is worth that extra $150. I didn't have much pride to begin with, so maybe it was okay.
But you got to break tape, so I think it's worth it.
That's awesome.
I did, yes. That was, and I don't remember it at all because I've just like blocked out that traumatic moment from my mind.
Well, thank you for reliving it for our podcast, as traumatic as that is.
Yeah, it was pretty entertaining afterwards. And even at the time, I was like, tomorrow you will laugh about this, but today you can just cry.
That's fair.
And you'll continue to laugh every day after.
Yes. And anytime somebody tells me they have a horror poo story, I'm just like, oh no, I got you beat. Don't you worry.
I love it when you came into my office and it was like my last couple of weeks there because we all know I switched jobs in the company. And you walked in with your boss and he goes, yeah, I heard you have a podcast. What's it about? And I kind of gave him the rundown and it's a play on words. And then I don't remember if it was me who looked at you or I was like, you want to come on? Do you have a story? And you're like, yeah, I do. But your boss was standing right there. And you were like a little reserved. And then I think you were just like, yeah, whatever. I got a poop story. And I broke tape. It was awesome. It was worth it.
Yeah. No, I forget sometimes that non-runners don't talk about their bowel movements as much as runners do. And I forget sometimes when I'm in mixed company to be like, oh, you don't talk about this stuff all the time.
This isn't normal, you mean?
It's not usually something you talk about at work either.
Sometimes it is.
He's a good guy. He has a great head of hair, by the way.
Like yours or an actual?
Just like mine. Great head of hair.
There's so many people in our company that are just bald white dudes. It's so hard to tell them all apart.
I prefer to call it shaved. I just shave my head every day. That's what I call it.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if it can grow back because I've been shaving it for 12 years. But
do you shave it every morning?
Every day.
I got Ross to go run with me for 5 miles in Louisville.
That's awesome. Now he has like a foot problem though, right?
Yeah. Do you remember whenever we did, what was the thing on Strava we did right around the time I started?
It was for the Army 10 miler, right?
That's right. Yeah. So right whenever he started training for that, he got a really bad plantar fasciitis. And I mean, like you're not a runner unless you've had plantar fasciitis, I feel like.
So, and I'm going to share this because the CEO is gone, but the CEO he was really into the military and all that stuff for our company. And so he wanted to bring 20 people who work for our company to run in the Army 10 miler. And so we had a competition over 4 weeks. You had to run 20 miles a week for 4 straight weeks. And there was a Strava group. And the Strava group was so large that Strava couldn't handle any group over 200 people. Like it would only refresh every 6 hours. And people just kept hitting refresh. Like, who ran today? Who ran? None of it mattered because if you ran your 20 miles every week for 4 weeks, you were put in a lottery. And this didn't work out the way he wanted because we're a worldwide global company. And of the 20 people, like 14 of them were overseas, international, not even Americans coming to run. And you can see the CEO pulling the names out of the bucket, right? And he goes, another one from Sweden, another one from Switzerland.
So did he have to pay to
send
so, everybody over? Ooh.
And so they had to, foot the bill to send all these people across the pond to run in the Army 10 miler. And there was only like, if you added him and the 2 other people who were like high up in the company to make 20, there was only like 3 3 Americans. I got nothing against the other people. Just it was a hefty bill.
Damn.
Well, do you remember, there was the guy from Santa Barbara, though, that was in the bike accident, and he ended up winning the hand cycle competition, or maybe second or something. But yeah, he did really well. He's from the Santa Barbara office.
Wait, really? I didn't know this.
Yeah.
No clue. I'll have to get him. Does he still work for us?
As far as I know.
We're a big company.
Mm-hmm.
Email me
You said
tomorrow.
worldwide. So
Email me this
yeah.
guy tomorrow.
Now we're even a big company, too.
Mhm.
We're like 2 big companies.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah. Some other company just bought us for $8 billion. That's billion with a B. Yeah.
Dollars.
Yeah.
with a D.
Erica's like, that's a lot of money. I'm like, yeah, they don't pay me and Mikala that kind of money.
What are you talking about? You
I mean,
didn't get a
Mikala, we can't even afford Netflix. And I got 3 kids. How do you think it is with me? That's why I got to share Netflix and Disney Plus with others.
Mhm.
So if Netflix is out there, Disney Plus, you want to do like a series on Code Browns, you know, and give us free
Disney Plus is out on that
give
one.
us free streaming, you know.
Amazon Prime.
That would be. I just watched an awesome running documentary on Amazon Prime, by the way.
Which one?
Wait, can I? This is totally an ad for my favorite
Go for it.
comedian. I found him on Amazon Prime. You have to watch the show. Once is enough.
Who is it?
Yeah. Jeffrey Binney.
Yes, that was what I was just gonna say. I just watched it. And he needs to come on, and he is hilarious on Instagram.
He's coming to do JFK in the fall here.
Have you spoken? I have yet to grow.
Reach out, man.
One day I'll
Oh,
have the
I
balls
did.
to
I
like
tagged
reach
him
out
on
to him.
Instagram.
I
I'm
do-
of an Instagram generation, so.
I do the same. I follow him, and one of these days I'm going to say something to him and be like, "Hey, you need to come on." This guy's hilarious.
Okay. All right. I am sold then.
The movie is also just very, I mean, I'm not like one of those inspirational kind of people, as you might have gathered, but it was a really touching movie. I thought it was very cute.
And watching him struggle through that ultra that he just completed. Now, I don't want to ruin it, but basically watching him struggle through this was like at one point, like just you were miserable too. And
So his mom died of a heart attack or some kind of heart disease. And I mean, she was still relatively young. And he decided that he wanted to get healthy. And so he decided that he's going to run the Leadville 100, which is like, kind of a difficult race at elevation.
Damn. I found it.
He did get a coach, thank God. But yeah.
the story about the coach was hilarious too, because the coach was like, "Are you serious?"
Wait, I can't remember who the coach was.
He was like this big time running coach in the UK, and he only like coached elite runners.
I can't think of his name though, but I thought he did really well. He's like, that's interesting that you have this goal set. I'm not going to say no, but you need to have a serious training plan to achieve this goal.
Mhm.
Let's get after it. And I mean, I respect that. He didn't just say no. And then I don't think it's ruining too much, but things don't go as he had hoped, maybe as he had planned, but not as he had hoped. And then he pivots and, he's obviously still running now. That's why I follow him on Instagram. So
Awesome.
He calls himself the Husky Ultra Runner. And he's plant-based. I didn't know that.
I would have unfollowed him if I had known that.
Oh. We will get him on one day.
Sure.
Yes, absolutely. Season 2.
Yeah.
Season 2 is going to be
If
big.
you don't get him on before November, I will plug your show.
Wait, so do you think you're going to meet him at JFK?
I mean, he's not that fast, and the race goes on the C&O Canal, which is a public trail. So, I mean,
I love
can
it.
literally stalk him for like 50 miles.
I love it. That is so great. That is so great.
Yeah, I will just send me a bunch more stickers, and I will just keep adding stickers onto his clothing until he agrees to come on your show.
We'll send you a nice care package. No worries.
Well, she's got some, but
We'll send some more.
but yeah, the next time
I
that
have a
sticker
ton.
mule
I got
deal
a
comes
ton.
in, I'm just going to
Dude,
direct them to your house.
I bought like 500 stickers. Did you forget about that?
No,
I'll send you a bunch, Mikala. Don't worry. We got you covered.
He did give me a bunch the last time I was up in New Hampshire, so.
All right, that was great. We've gone a little bit off the rails, but I want to get let's stay off the rails a little bit. Let's talk about getting lost.
Oh, yeah. So I whenever I signed up for that 40 miler, the Highland Sky, I knew that I was new to this whole ultra running thing and I didn't know anything about it. So they do some training runs on the course. They do one on the first half and then another one a month later on the second half of the course. And I was like, oh, I should definitely go do those. So the guy that designed the course, he's like the forest manager for the national park there. Like, so he designed this course. He started this race. He started the West Virginia Mountain Trail Runners group. Like, he owns this race. He knows it inside, outside. He's on these trails every day of his life. We're doing the first 20 miles and he's like, I don't know where we are. I think we're lost. We're definitely not on the course though.
That does not bode well.
Granted, there was a little bit of snow on the ground, right? So things did look different. But again, like, he's out there all the time. So it seems like maybe he shouldn't have gotten lost.
Mm-hmm.
But that was my first introduction to ultra running. So I just knew, like, oh, this is just a thing that happens all the time. You're just constantly lost. So later that year, whenever I did actually run the race, I was with a guy that had done the race like every year since it existed. And we ended up getting lost on this. There's a part where you go down a ski resort. I mean, it's in the summertime, but you're still like on the ski slopes. And we got lost and turned around and probably did an extra, I mean, it wasn't that much, maybe like an extra mile or so. This year at that same place, people got lost again, didn't see flagging. And then and I did a local 5K on the roads.
Oh no.
And I was running with like the old guys in the lead pack that like know the thing. And we also got lost and ended up like coming through the finish chute the wrong way. Yeah, so I'm just perpetually lost. I think you had asked about pacing. The first time I ever paced a girl, I felt really bad. I got her lost it was a loop course, but it was like a 20-mile loop. And we did one loop together. And then I don't know, like on the second loop, we just went the wrong direction. I mean, it was the middle of the night, but in theory, I should have still been coherent enough. But yeah, we went like 2.5 miles the wrong way.
Oh, no.
Ended up dropping just because that was too mentally demoralizing at that point.
Oh.
Yeah. So I mean, your loop course should be fine. But if you ever start doing other ultras, just be prepared to get lost a little bit or know where the problems parts are.
Mm-hmm.
So you can like wait till somebody else gets lost with you.
That's good advice.
All right, I'm going to do something for the first time, and I might start doing this on most episodes where I find one Instagram picture and ask you about this Instagram picture. So I need to ask you something you posted in 2016.
Oh, God.
My hashtag Rundies hold me accountable.
I knew that. So as soon as you said that, I knew. I'm going to tell Ashley about this, just so you know.
Hey, you're the one who posted your ass on Instagram.
I had a better ass in 2016. Yeah, so I think they were from Brooks, weren't they? Like the little days of the week underwear you had as a kid? I don't know if boys had them, girls had them.
Girls had them.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And like some people were crazy and would wear like not the right day on the other day. Like they would wear Wednesday underwear on Monday. That was inconceivable to me. Like even if I took a shower on Tuesday night, there's no way I could put on the Wednesday underwear, right? It was very complicated. So like forgetting all this about myself, I bought the Brooks underwear that had they had a long run, a fartlek, a tempo run, an easy day, a race day pair. But it was just the whole thing. I had to get rid of them. It was too stressful for me to have oh my God, I put on my long run, but it's the day. I ran in the morning, and now do I still wear the long run runs? It's going to be an easy run tomorrow. Do I put on the easy? It was too stressful.
That's adorable, though.
If I would put them on in the morning, right? Like I had to do the race, that run that day. Like those are the long run ones. So I had to do a long run. So that's why I said they held me accountable.
I'm just noticing this other one as I'm creeping your Instagram. Trainer rides are better because they don't let me ride outside top. I might have said that wrong. Trainer rides are better because they don't let me ride outside topless. Yes, I said it right. They don't let you go topless outside. I mean,
it's frowned upon, yeah. And I mean, you've never had the joy of trying to take off a sweaty sports bra.
The worst. The worst.
it's the same as a soaking t-shirt.
Instagram about it.
The same as a soaking t-shirt.
No,
for me.
it's not.
No, try it like with a wet straight jacket whenever your arms are exhausted.
Okay.
And you're all chafed from said wet, nasty sports bra.
She
I
nailed
will
it.
try it, but we will not post it.
I think you should try it. This should be a new Insta challenge. I better have like 10,000 followers by tomorrow. That's all I'm saying.
Well, we got like 250, so
We can get you maybe like 6.
we're hoping you help us and we help you. We'll share this with all our coworkers.
I did a podcast with a friend in 2020, and on it I said that I was going to do this whole like back-to-back race series, the 3 races. And a guy messaged me on Facebook and said, "Oh, I want to do that too. Let me know how it goes for you." And then like during quarantine, he messaged me and said, "Hey, Julie, I know we're both runners. It would be great if we could get together sometime and maybe go on a date."
Okay, Julie.
And I mean, you could very clearly tell that it was just a copy paste error.
Yeah. Oh.
But I was like, it literally says right here in Messenger who you're talking to. If you can't even figure that out, I don't think this is going to work.
Oh, I could keep talking to you about this. I think you got many more stories that would be great to hear one day. I think when you're back in New Hampshire for work, we should get together.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can come help you Sherpa one of Erica's races sometime.
Yes, even though you don't like Sherpas, you would probably be a great Sherpa.
Oh, yeah. No, I love Sherpaing for other people.
See, it'll be fine if you guys can hang out or something.
Yeah, well, because last year I got to hang out with her friend, our friend, but this year I'm solo.
Oh,
So
You will make friends, man. You're real good at that.
I might even bring the mics and just start talking to people. Be like, here's a mic, grab a mic, let's talk.
So my competitor, her name is Katie. She has never done an ultra like this before, and she's getting kind of nervous. And she's bringing her husband, and she's like, I don't know what to bring, I don't know what to do. So we should like meet up together, and so you can hang out with her husband the whole time, and then we can talk to Katie in between laps and stuff.
I'm down. I'm down. Okay. Erica always has a big final question.
okay.
Oh, yes. I heard your links, but I want you to tell everybody else. But we have a Spotify playlist that we like to add just any kind of song that will pump you up or just get you in the mood to run, to work out, anything like that. So if you could add songs to our playlist, what would you add?
So I sent you the link to my favorite one. It's a 24-hour playlist. It is the very serious song, It's Raining Tacos.
That is a banger.
It's a delightful, like 1.5 minute song to listen to on repeat for 24 hours straight. It makes playlist planning very simple.
Have you ever listened to that thing on loop for that long?
No. I think I can make it through maybe about 10 repetitions. I will say, though, that I do tend to find a favorite song, and I will literally put it on repeat, or I'll put like it and the remixes of it all on repeat, and I'll just listen to that for like 8 hours straight during an ultra, and that doesn't faze me in the least bit.
Nice.
The song I sent to you is really the song that I always put on for hill repeats, Evan Gia's Sidelines. There's a dance remix of The Wellerman. It's like an Irish jig song. That's another one I could listen to on repeat forever. Yeah, there's sometimes classical music on my playlist. There's sometimes Irish music. It spans the whole gamut.
I will find as many of these as I can to put on the playlist. But it's Raining Tacos already made it.
All right, hold on. Can you hear this?
Just open your mouth and close your eyes. It's raining tacos.
Can we get you dancing there?
I'm gonna stop now.
No, remember, I have no shame. We've already adjusted.
This is making me hungry.
Oh, I love it. That's great.
Whenever I'm running and I don't have music, I end up singing 99 bottles of beer on the wall.
Oh my God.
Something really stupid and repetitive. So It's Raining Tacos fits the bill for that, actually.
My daughter loves that song, but it's kids are something else, because she'll ask me every day driving to school last year, can you play Dance Monkey and Raining Tacos? And I love Dance Monkey, and I never really enjoyed Raining Tacos before, and now I don't really like both because I heard them all the time. Like, the kids will ruin things for you just because it's on repeat.
Mm-hmm.
Just lean into it. Just enjoy it. You know what's happening. You know what's going to come next.
Oh, yeah. Ashley wanted to make a TikTok to Raining Tacos, and she was going to buy all the taco stuff, and Adeline was going to throw it. And I'm like, that's such a waste of food.
Yeah.
Has somebody not done this already?
I'm sure somebody has. Anyways.
Those are some bangers for sure.
Speaking of bangers, actually, final question. Tell me about a Piano Man during a marathon.
Oh, so I was supposed to do Big Sur to Boston to Big Sur during like the year of the pandemic. So I ended up running Boston in October then that year, and I didn't want to run it again because Boston's just terrible.
Erica, shots.
Yeah, I mean, I've only run Boston that one time, so.
What year did you run it?
I did it 2018, but I actually did Boston to Big Sur that year.
Oh, did you?
I had I had 1 year where instead of it being like 6 days apart, it was 13 days apart. So it wasn't quite as bad, but I know the Piano Man you speak of.
And we just had, so it's okay. So he's a thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's a thing.
He's been at every Big Sur. Yeah, you can even buy his CDs and stuff. It was very delightful. And he dresses up like in the full tails and everything.
Nice.
It's really amazing. And the way the course is, you're running along Route 1, so you get like the sound of it with the waves in the background, like long before you can even see him. They have it amplified. So it's really delightful.
Well, this is pretty great. Mm-hmm. Everyone who just became big fans of us from our Boston Marathon episode with Mike Beeman is going to be like, oh, Mikala.
Hey, everybody's entitled to their opinion.
But besides that, the whole thing was epic and awesome. I'm so happy we finally got you on.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Start saving up more stories for us because I want to hear about your luck with the getting into Western states. I hope it happens for you.
Yeah.
What were the other big stuff you got going on?
Will business expense it to go out there?
I have London Marathon coming up in
Awesome.
October, so that's great.
So you're getting your 6-star? Oh my God. I am 1 off. You're going to beat me. I'm so happy for you. Tokyo is the one I need, and I'm doing it next year.
Are they going to open it up again finally?
They have. I'm so far so good. Like it's in the works.
Good. But when I did it, it was 40 degrees and rainy the entire time. Like it started raining as soon as they loaded us in a corral, so we just stood there in the pouring rain for like 30 minutes and then ran.
Awesome.
It was miserable.
Well, that was my Boston year, so if I can handle that year, I hopefully can handle some crappy Tokyo weather. But wow, that's so exciting for you.
Can't wait.
Mikala, you're awesome. Thanks for coming on. Mikala Shremshock.
No, let me. All right, it's Mikala Shremshock. Did I nail
you said
it?
it better than I do.
I had better practice than he did. But
you were also trying. He put some effort in there.
Yes, I did.
Awesome. Thanks again for coming on.
Thank you guys so much for having me. This was really fun.